This is Code Red.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Code Red podcast. I'm Shub,
And this is Parthib.
and this is the Manchester United podcast where we review games, tactics, and player ratings. Throughout the series, we'll also be looking at any club updates such as transfer news, injuries, or any additions to the squad. Today, we're looking at Manchester United's 6-2 win against Leeds United in the Premier League.
So we apologize for the extended hiatus we've been on. College apps are a pain. But we're back with a banger with this game. So obviously 6-2 United playing at Old Trafford. We got Scott McTominay breaking records today, scoring in the second and third goal, the very first player in the Premier League to score 2 goals within the first 3 minutes. Then we had Bruno Fernandes adding another one with a banger with a shot. Then Lindelof scoring a tap in the back post. Then we had El Cooper getting a hell of a header in from a corner. And then Daniel James scored a really nice goal from a Scott McTominay assist, a Bruno Fernandes penalty, and then a Dallas banger at the end. So let's go over the lineups real quick. We have De Gea in goal, no Dino today. Lindelof and Maguire in the center backs, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka on the left and right respectively. Scott McTominay starting up, as well as Fred in the center defensive midfielders. We had Daniel James today instead of Mason Greenwood on the right, Bruno Fernandes in the center, Rashi on the left, and we have Anthony Martial in the front. Then we have, for the Leeds side, we have Meslier in goal, Cooper and Ayling and as the center backs, Alioski and Dallas as the left and right back, Phillips as the holding midfielder. Then in the center, we had Kilich, Rodrigo, Rafinha, and Harrison. And up front, we had my Lord and Savior, Patrick Bamford. So, off to a flying start for United. Scott McTominay obviously putting those two to put them 2-0 up in the first 3 minutes. I turned on my phone like a couple minutes late. I see 3 minutes and they're already up 2-0, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I was watching the game and then I look away 1 second. I look back. Why is everyone hugging each other? And I see Scott McTominay just scored a belter from outside the box. The last thing I expected from this United side. But yeah, it was quite shocking to see United actually score goals and win a comfortable game. Not, from behind conceding a dumb goal, but actually scoring the first goal. So that felt really good.
But then, it is you don't want to score first against United, though. That's kind of the superstition we have
Yeah.
for us nowadays. But yeah, I mean, off to a great start as we saw before. Scott McTominay cementing himself today was a great performance from him. Obviously, getting the 2 goals, making some brilliant passes. He could have had another assist from Martial. I think he had the one for Daniel James. It was a really nice pass. He took the ball from midfield and made a really nice pass to split the defense. Daniel James obviously finishing, but I think they were. Even though we obviously had the positives, they were still lacking in the back a lot.
Yeah, I think it was quite evident that it would be a kind of high scoring game because both of these two teams, they've both, displayed high scoring opportunities, but they've also conceded some dumb goals. I think both teams have been pretty bad at set pieces, especially last
terrible.
season. Yeah, especially last season. United were just awful at set pieces, conceding from corners left and right. This season also, Leeds have been the worst team to concede from set pieces. I believe they
I think it was
conceded
some 9 or 11
nine.
goals, right?
Yeah, I think 9 this season, and I think 3 today or something like that.
No, they had 9 excluding penalties.
Oh, okay, okay.
But then they obviously had added 10 with Lindelof's goal today. But yeah, they've been pretty weak defending set pieces, similar to San Jose Earthquake. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, they were lacking in the front. We obviously had the missed opportunity by Patrick Bamford. He just put it wide. It was bad giveaways in the back. Luke Shaw making up and then making that mistake and not really pressuring them. And we saw that with the Dallas goal. They were just kind of stood flat-footed. They weren't really pressuring him, and he had time to take the shot and made a beautiful shot. All props to him. But United could have closed them down earlier. It's as the commentators were saying, this they do have a strong offense, but it's just not the same midfield and defense that Sir Alex Ferguson obviously had. It's just very weak compared to them.
Yeah, I think what we've kind of seen, and we kind of saw this last season as well. But when teams would sit at the back and not give them any space, United really struggled. Even when
They can't break them down.
exactly, even with the addition of Bruno Fernandes, it was hard at times, and the main way to break them down was, getting that penalty or maybe getting like a tricky deflection or pass or something. But today, I think the way Leeds play is they're very pressuring. So wherever the ball is, we saw the players kind of running towards, which gave United a lot of space to operate. So I think United kind of benefited from Leeds' kind of tactical play style.
Leeds are like one of the most hardworking teams. Like they've stats wise, they've covered the most miles, they've made the most tackles. They are very, very hardworking players. But the only thing is, it didn't benefit them. Like we saw Bruno Fernandes able to drag people wide and leave space, leave like players with space open in the middle while there's less Leeds defender defending that area. So it did kind of backfire on them at times. But I still think that Leeds did put high pressure, but near the end they kind of turned off. Like you could see, like they weren't really trying as hard, especially the last goal, the Daniel James one. It just seemed like after he got past them, they weren't even trying to run towards him to stop him. It is pretty demoralizing when you've already conceded 5 goals at that point. I thought it was going to be like a Germany Brazil one, just 7-1.
7-1.
That would have been a cool title, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think like even at the end, like even after the Daniel James goal, like Meslier was kind of bailing them out from even more embarrassment.
Meslier was saving them so many times.
Yeah, he had an amazing double save when Cavani struck it, and then Daniel James came with the rebound, and then even Fred could have given McSauce the hat trick, but went straight at goal.
Fred seemed kind of confused at that point. Like he wasn't sure if he wanted to take a shot. And at the end, he did take a shot. But the Daniel James one, like as I was saying, like they did seem like they kind of given up at that point. Like I mean, props to I think it was all Scott McTominay setting the one up, just dribbling past and fighting really nice.
Yeah.
That was a clean pass. My God. I've never. That's like a Iniesta. Okay, not Iniesta.
Not Iniesta, but like Ozil-esque in some.
Yeah, Ozil-esque. Yeah, that was a really nice pass and a good run by Daniel James to finish it off. He although he wasn't involved as much, though where he was involved, he was making an impact. He was running down the line. He obviously had that yellow card for simulation. Which I think last year it probably would have passed for a Penandes penalty.
Yeah.
Alas.
But yeah, I guess when I saw the team sheet, I was kind of confused. Like, why is Daniel James playing? Obviously, as a Mason fanboy, I'm like, where is Mason Greenwood? But I gotta give props to Ole because I didn't realize that Leeds, since they are so hardworking, we cannot play our older, more experienced players because they would get caught up. For example, if we played Nemanja Matic and Paul Pogba instead of Fred and McTominay, we kind of lose that versatility, the ability to push the ball forward very quickly. Like Pogba and Matic, they can deliver the long balls better and they can hold possession, but they can't really push everyone forward. Even with Daniel James, right? Like he kind of brings out the right back, which kind of generates more space. So I think Ole got the team all right. Like I don't see any flaws with the way he set this team tactics wise as well.
I think I would have started Alex Telles ahead of Luke Shaw. Alex Telles does bring a bit more to the table. But as far as the holding midfielders, Fred was covering Scott McTominay perfectly. McTominay was giving him the opportunity to run forward, make a lot of good passes, start plays. They were really counterattacking this time. They were really running at them with intensity. I think it showed because the enthusiasm from scoring like so many early goals. They were hungry today, and we saw that. And I think that kind of attributed to the counter-attacking play that we were seeing after so long, just boring like side-by-side passing. It's just not what we want to see. But god damn, can we talk about Rashford?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that shoulder drop. That was like erotic. I replayed that so many times.
Yeah. I mean, last season he had like occasional moments, where when Martial was injured, so he would be carrying that kind of strike force, one with the defender. But today, man, oh my. It was just.
That was beautiful. That was like Neymar, like Messi shoulder drops. And Neymar turns. Oh my god! Like that. It sucks that he couldn't get a goal or assist for my fantasy team. Like I guess shoulder drops don't.
Yeah, there should be bonus points.
Bonus points for shoulder drops. But yeah, I think he was playing really well, getting involved. But they're missing too many chances. This could have been like This could have been like 9-5. Like that could have been the ending score. Like Martial missed a 2, and then Fred got unlucky, and then obviously
Leeds.
near the end, Cavani and
Oh yeah,
Daniel
yeah.
James also missed that one. So they really need to capitalize more. Like it was a good game, but there's still a lot to take away as far as capitalizing on the opportunity that they're given. Because right now they're pretty close in the table. They need as much goals as they can.
Yeah, as like United are third, but if you see, one loss could drop them all the way till seventh. Like it's just that close. They can't look at like the way the table is set up. They gotta keep on improving. And I think for United, the best thing they can improve on is just simply consistency. They've been way too inconsistent this season. I mean, they had a terrible start to the season, and then they kind of went under the radar, winning games slowly. But even some
And
of
then blowing up in the Champions
yeah,
League.
and then they did well in the Champions League before dropping out. But like it's been like periods of excellence, and then it's just been Ole's job at the line again. I think unless we put Ole's job on the line every week in week out.
Every week.
um, yeah, I don't like. I just want them to be and the thing is, I like what I saw today. It's kind of like it wasn't exactly what Sir Alex Ferguson instilled into his team, but compared to last season, even earlier this season, right? United would score a goal, then they'd kind of relax, sit back. But not today. They were really hungry for those goals. They were kept on pushing. And Sir Alex Ferguson, he said the greatest form of defense is to attack. If you keep attacking, they can't really penetrate into your territory. So like maybe this was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's long term plan, right? He couldn't instill it in the beginning. He needed time, and I think with the pace this team has, it's possible to keep this up. Um, but I have a question for you. So Anthony Martial, terrible start to the season. Didn't have a goal or assist besides, I guess you can say, the penalty when they lost 6-1 at Spurs until these last 2 weeks. Uh, people are saying, United need a full, proper striker like Harry Kane or Aguero. Do you think Martial, he's still relatively young, I believe he's like mid-20s. Do you think he will continue to be United's top striker, or do United go for a full-on striker in the transfer window?
I think the red card in the Spurs match really impacted him, like not being able to play for so long. I think that really kind of like just getting off on a bad foot. I think it really sets the standard for how he was going to play with the rest of the season. I think that really affected him as well. But we saw in this the last game against who was it again? Southampton, right? No, not Southampton. Who did they beat 3-2?
They beat Southampton 3-2.
Sheffield.
Oh,
Sheffield.
right, yeah.
Like we can see what he's capable of, and today even he still had an impact. He had 3 assists. He could have scored 2 goals. Like I think he's still there to stay. I think it's just a matter of just getting back into like a flow of things. He hasn't been consistent at all. I think just when he starts scoring goals, getting assists, I think that's when it goes. But as far as a through and through number 9, like someone like Karim Benzema, Harry Kane, Danny Ings, I think that's what United were kind of looking for in Cavani. But Cavani is more of a super sub. The front line of United are all just very pacey. They're all very run behind the defense, run at the defense, dribble, pass. I think they're not very much of like a Diego Costa, like a number 9, like a someone who could hold the ball and pass it off. Someone like Olivier Giroud is a great
Definitely,
example
yeah.
of that. I think that's what they're lacking because they kind of need that, like someone who can play off. Like so many times we've seen one striker who's a lot faster, who might cut back from the behind the defense, and then one who likes to hold the play, like hold the ball for any more coming in forwards or like wingers, and that's like another one is Big Robert Lewandowski. He obviously scores many goals and he's very good at passing the ball, holding it off. I think that's what United also might need. It might slow down the game, and it might not really attribute to their counterattacking mindset, but I think that might just be important. Like they had Odion Igalo, but he wasn't the greatest. I think
Yeah.
obviously Cavani is a step up from that. So I think if they stick with Cavani, they'll be fine as first super sub. But as far as counterattacking, I think they kind of have what they need. They just need the players to perform.
Yeah, I think this front three, I think the best way they operate is through, going into open spaces, creating chances. Like if we like what we saw today, when Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, his first goal, like that was a great ball by Rashford to Martial, and the defender obviously got a good touch on it, but getting open in those spaces, even the Martial assist to McTominay, making those off ball runs, which we never saw United do last season. Um, it's a step up, and if United can make those off ball runs, I think Martial should stay the number one, should be the top striker because he needs to work on his finishing. Like his finishing was one of his best attributes when he came into United. Like he could always find the corners very easily. And I think I think as you said, like the red card kind of put him off. But I think a couple games could probably get him into his momentum, and back to scoring goals. But yeah,
I think especially with like United, like we've seen like a plethora of players who just failed. Di Maria, Depay, who else was there? In the
Alexis
last couple weekends
Sanchez,
working out? Alexis Sanchez. I think people
Falcao.
are kind of quick to put down like United players in general. I think we just need and that's obviously a given. So many of these players are just completely flop. But I think with someone like Martial, who's been there for what like 5 years now, he knows the system pretty well. I think you just have to give him the chance, like as though we've said, like we've given so many players so many chances. But I think especially with someone like Martial, it's a wasted opportunity if we just let him go somewhere else where he'll thrive. I think they just really have to stick with Martial and believe in it.
Yeah, definitely. Um, there was news that Jesse Lingard might go on loan to Sheffield United.
No, no,
In
no,
the
no, no,
transfer.
not Jay Lings.
It's only on loan. It's on loan. It's on loan. But do you think he should go? I don't know if it's true or not, but it's possible. Do you think he should go?
As for the memes, I hope he doesn't go. But as for United's well-being, he really should go.
Yeah, I mean, he's doesn't look like he's gonna get playing time anytime soon. Um,
He's still a young
yeah,
talent.
yeah, maybe if he develops, Sheffield United. Yeah,
What is he like?
yeah,
27,
27,
28?
yeah,
Oh boy, still acts like he's 22.
yeah.
But it is what it is.
um,
But what do you think as far as defensive midfielders go? Because we saw Matic is obviously getting old,
mhm.
and then Pogba's agent Mina Raiola, who you hate
Yeah,
with all passion, he's saying that Pogba might be leaving. He's not happy there. So what do you think as far as center defensive midfielders
I
go?
think,
What's gonna happen?
uh, okay, so assuming that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a plan to stay for maybe 2, 3 more seasons, I think he's gonna stay this season for sure till the end of it. Even next season, I think he will. So I think based on his style of play, we need kind of like a versatile center defensive midfielder. And I thought like just looking at the opposition, Calvin Phillips. I mean, he was like amazing in the championship last season. Like a Conte type player, who can really hold up the ball but can also like move the ball forward. And I think McTominay is a good. Um, he kind of suits that role, but he's not like developed yet. Like he still needs to learn. We kind of saw like McTominay was still sloppy in some aspects. I think. Was it the Bamford miss? I think where like Wan Bissaka, like the ball was just given away, and I think Scott McTominay just kind of assumed Fred would get it. In the beginning.
Yeah, there was a mix up, and in the end, they just Bamford got a shot off, and they were lucky it didn't go
Yeah,
in.
yeah, and then there were like a couple instances of those. I think like with time, McTominay can be good, but I think like United need a full on like a good CDM who can control that midfield because if they can maintain possession in the midfield, away from their defense, which still needs some help, then I think they can probably flourish a lot more.
I think one of the biggest like attributes that someone like Conte has, I think he's one of like back like in 2017, 2018, around then, I think he was the best holding midfielder at the time. He had, I think it was his, despite his small frame, he was pacey and he was physical. He's one of so
Yeah.
physical. I think that's what are really missing. Like obviously we see Pogba, he's not the fastest guy, but he can be physical when if he
Yeah,
wants to, which is
not in the box, but like in the box being as soft as you want. But yeah, carry on, carry on.
Yeah, but I think that's what they're sincerely missing. I think McTominay looks to be the role. He does look like your center defense in midfield, like just like your through and through one. But he's obviously still quite sloppy. But he is he is fast. He can dribble. He's not the best dribbler, but he can move the ball forward. We saw that today. I think Fred did well today. Like this might have been one of Fred's most convincing performances. He was really staying back, getting balls for like allowing McTominay to go, like providing the stability for McTominay to go up forward. Because as we've seen, United's defense is pretty leaky at times. But I think it's still gonna be weird to see how not weird, just hard for Ole to incorporate Donny Van de Beek into the formation.
Yeah, I mean, like it looks all like happy days right now, but if Bruno Fernandes gets injured, which is very much possible because he's always playing pretty much every single game. I don't think he ever gets a rest because he wants to play every game, but there's times where someone you know gets bad contact and you could be out for a couple months, and then United's in a big dilemma. And like the best person to suit that role would be Donny Van de Beek, and I think he could do well in that role. But yeah, as you're saying, it's kind of hard to see what Donny Van de Beek's real role in the squad is, and obviously, it's his first season in the Premier League, so he has to adapt to the physicality of it and like the playing styles. Um, but I think he is so versatile. He can play as a center midfield. He can play, a number six, number eight, number 10, and it's just can they incorporate both Fernandez and Van de Beek and another CDM? Like I think if we have like Calvin Phillips, for example, as our CDM, or Tommy or Fred, once they're developed, and then we can play both Van de Beek and Bruno. I think the creativity that midfield would have would just allow our front three to just prosper from those chances.
But I think like if we do incorporate like Van de Beek and Bruno, it might be at the expense of a winger because you can't have too many players pushing
Mm-hmm.
for. I mean, all of them marry, but there still has to be some like sitting back. I don't think it's wise to push everyone up forward, although we do see it.
Mm-hmm.
So
True, true.
I I don't know. I'm on the fence about that because I've talked to friends who say a Van de Beek was a panic buy, and I still want to stick by him because I like what I see from him, but it's just kind of iffy, like his whole like what he's gonna be, what his role is in the squad.
Yeah, I think like you could play maybe like a 4-3-3, like a false nine kind of up top, kind of like two strikers. Like there's many ways to play with the squad, I feel. But yeah, I think maybe Don Van de Beek can play in that center midfield duo. Like Bruno up top as like the cam kind of, and then Van de Beek and good CDM. But last season, Fred and McTominay did have a pretty good partnership. Um, so I like it's kind of a dilemma. Like if you look at it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's perspective, like he has quite a good crop of players to choose from, and choosing the wrong one could cost him heavily. So he doesn't want to get too many players in, but at the same time, they need to step it up. So yeah,
What do you think about Paul Pogba's future at the
I
club?
think see like Paul Pogba is world class. Like we saw last week, that assist to Martial, like that's a really good pass. Is he consistently world class? Definitely not. Like he'll provide in like a good performance one or like now or then, but I think as much as I like him, like he can be a good player. He does bring creativity. I just don't really see him kind of being part of this United squad because he's not really like a work rate player. Like he's more of a sit back, analyze and just pass and go. Like the way what I saw kind of from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time as a whole is he really wants players who like work for the ball, kind of like Leeds, but like yeah, finding open passes, moving through space, um, and I just don't think Paul Pogba fits that. Obviously, I mean, Solskjaer is not going to say like, "Oh, I don't want Pogba in the press conference," because, like Sir Alex, he'll defend his players publicly. But I think I think United should cash in on him to maybe get a CDM to replace him.
Yeah, they do have a surplus of midfielders at the moment, and obviously they're always looking for that as Jadon
Hmm.
Sancho transfers. Well, we were pretty adamant that was gonna happen, but
Yeah.
obviously didn't happen. So January transfer window is gonna be here soon, in a matter of moments. But we'll have to see what he does. You want to go into player ratings?
Yeah, in a bit. Just like speaking of the January transfer window, United did confirm, or Fabrizio Romano did confirm that Amad Diallo, he's a young wonder kid from Atalanta, will be coming. I think it's 25 million and 15 million in add-ons. Um, I haven't seen much of him. I'm gonna be honest, so I can't really say much. I don't think you have either. I didn't even hear of this kid until
Yeah,
Romano
I've never
like
heard of his
say
name
I've never
before.
seen him play. But he is a winger. So like, do you think that kind of closes the Jadon Sancho door?
I think United should just cut their losses with Jadon Sancho. Just they do have a nice crop
Mm-hmm.
of wingers. If they've bought Daniel James in, he has been wildly inconsistent. This is his first goal since August
Mm-hmm.
2019, but he is fast. He's pacey. He can dribble. I think it's maybe just capitalize on what they have right now. Because who else they have? They have Daniel James. They obviously have Greenwood on the bench. I think they should get rid of Juan Mata as soon as possible. I think they do have a nice crop of wingers that they can utilize. And with Diallo coming in, maybe that's another young prospect for the future. I think they should just not go after
Yeah, I
Sancho.
think United should not go after Sancho. I think if we get maybe Daya Upamecano, um, because that I think we still need to improve on defense. I mean, if Lindelof gets injured, like we can't play Twanze, but like yeah, he put in one good performance and then yeah, and then it just he hasn't really shown up since. So I think if they can rotate that kind of defense, um, provide some competition. But yeah, let's move on to player ratings.
Yeah. So we have the back line, David De Gea. I'm gonna give him a 8.
Mm-hmm.
Made some great saves today. Rafinha made 2 saves against Rafinha. That reflex save off the long
Yeah,
pass that he made. Oh, that was a
yeah,
peach. He got a hand to the Dallas shot. It was
yeah.
obviously just way too hard for him to stop, and nothing really he could do about the Cooper header. That was a bumping header into the back, but I think he really did. That was a good performance from De Gea. I give him an 8. Wan-Bissaka 6. He wasn't getting as involved in the attack too much. And the mistakes that were coming from him it was coming equally on both
Mm-hmm.
Shaw and Wan-Bissaka's side. Lindelof got the goal. Obviously, I think I'm gonna give him a 6.5. It was still there were still some moments where it was leaking in the center of the pitch. We obviously had that header that could have been avoided,
Mm-hmm.
and then Harry Maguire, same. I'm gonna give him a 6. He almost had a header
Yeah,
that
yeah,
commentator said landed on the slap foot
yeah.
of Harry Maguire. That was that was class. And then I think he's still doing pretty well. Harry Maguire, like it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
too big, like a nutmeg on the edge of the
Cough,
box.
cough, Bournemouth.
But I think yeah, I think he can. I think he put in a good shift today. And then Luke Shaw 6. He gave away that ball that that led to the no he gave one ball away on the left. I can't remember exactly what happened after that, but yeah, it's just it's not a bad performance, but it could be better from the entire back
Yeah,
line.
yeah,
What
mine
about
were
you?
similar. Yeah, I give David De Gea an 8. I mean, he couldn't really do anything about those goals. He did get a hand to it. I think he also might have gone a hand to the header by Cooper. But I don't know. But like no errors by him. Even the offside, like that reflex where it just like came ground grass cutting ball. Um, and then Wan Bissaka, I think 5.5. He didn't really provide stability or anything really going forward. And also like yeah, there were quite a couple mistakes. He wasn't really tight on his in his man marking, so I think he could have been better there. Um, Harry Maguire, I gave a 6. I think he's improved. Like ever since that Tottenham game, we haven't really heard him being criticized. Really, like I don't think he's been in a bad.
I mean, the criticism is
Yeah,
less
well,
than
he'll always get criticized. That's for sure. That's just a slab head.
yeah.
That well, yeah, when you're a slab head, that's what's gonna happen. But he hasn't like really made like any errors to goal or any mistakes. And like today, he made a pretty good save where he dove straight in front of the shot.
Right. Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was a
think
good
he
save
could
he
get
made.
down to the ground that quickly. um, yeah, yeah.
Gravity.
But yeah, I think like he's improved, and I hope he maintains this form. I mean, Sergio Aurier from Spurs was doing so well, and then he just slams Fofana from Leicester in the back to give him a penalty, which cost them the game. So I hope Maguire doesn't do something like that. I hope he maintains his form. Lindelof, I gave him a 7. I think it was creative. Like last game, he got an assist. This game, he got a goal. Never saw him as a goal scoring center back, but he's getting into some good spaces. He has some relatively good vision, but yeah, I think he was still sloppy at some places. And then Luke Shaw, yeah, I think it was still kind of sloppy. I gave him a 5.5. I think he could have done better. He was critical in that first goal. I think he won the ball back, passed it to Bruno, or in some sequence like that. I don't remember which one. But yeah, I think he could have improved, and he was a bit lackluster on the left side.
And then for center defensive midfielders, we had Scott McTominay and Fred. Scott McTominay 9. I mean, a near perfect performance. There wasn't much wrong going there. Like just scoring obviously those 2 goals and getting forward, making assists. Really, it's promising what we see from him. I think it was a very good performance from him. One of the best. Fred 8 did very well keeping the ball, passing it around. There were some missed passes here and then obviously the shot he missed, but still it was a very solid performance.
Yeah, I gave McTominay a 9 as well. I think it could have been a 10, but there were some miscommunications in the midfield. So I think if he cleared those up, like he could have had like a hat trick and 2 assists if everyone was on their finishing.
Oh yeah.
Fred, I gave him 7.5. I think he had a pretty good game, but I think I think he could have won the ball a bit more. I think he did give like the Leeds players like a bit of space, so I think he could have maybe tightened down on them. But I think he still had a pretty good game regardless.
My Lord and Savior Bruno Fernandes, one of my favorite players for United. 9 again. Oh my God, that goal he had, the first one, it was just no hesitation at all. Just thumped it. This strong pass. And obviously, oh my God, those back heels he was doing. That was beautiful. That was so nice to see that happening. Like their interplay was so fluid. It was like prime Barcelona, like 2009, 2010 Barcelona back what I saw there. So 9 for him. Rashford, 7.5. He was getting involved really well. His dribbling was nice. Obviously,
Chills.
shoulder drops. Oh my God. Oh, unlucky to get on the score sheet today though. But Daniel James, I think 7.5, just a tad better. He did get the goal, but obviously he was getting forward a lot, but wasn't getting as involved as I think Ole wanted him to. And Martial, 3 assists. I mean,
that is something.
That's pretty impressive. But yeah, but 2 missed goals, 2 missed goal opportunities. I think that should get him at least a 8.
Wow.
Could have given an 8.
Yeah, okay.
No, 7. I think the missed opportunities take away from him, but still, there's more to come from Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, my Lord and Savior Bruno Fernandes. When he scored that goal, I thought it was Rashford. Initially, I was like, "Oh, got the fantasy points," and then I realized, "Oh, it's Bruno," because I saw him celebrating. So yeah, obviously 9. I mean, his creativity is just like, it provides so much to this team. I think he's had 29 goals and 27 appearances for United, which is mad because just a couple of weeks back he was like the fastest United midfielder or United player or something to score 20 goals, and he said of course penalties will help, and that is true, but like he brings a lot to this United team, whether it's mentality, leadership, definitely, and like he connects everything. Like he's that last puzzle piece that United. They need more puzzle pieces, a lot more puzzle pieces.
They need more puzzle
but
pieces,
for now, it's a critical puzzle piece. It's a big puzzle piece. For Rashford, I think, oh my, those shoulder drops. Yikes. Today could have had a whole highlight reel of just shoulder drops, That was, oh my, he was just going left and right. Like, he was just a flash. Oh my. I gave him I think 7.5 is fair. Like, yeah, he didn't get on the goal score sheet, but like the chances he created, he could have definitely had assists. And he had some good shots. I mean, he was unfortunate to have one in the blocked, and obviously Martial's attempt, like the defender blocked it, so he could have easily had like a goal assist more. Daniel James, I'd actually give a 7. Like, yeah, he did score, but I think I don't think I can rate him as equally as Rashford's presence in the game. And I think he did well to create space occasionally, but I think like what I saw from him, I think the difference between a good winger and a great winger is like their predictability. Like when Daniel James was going down the middle and Martial was on the right side, trying to give feed the ball to McTominay for his hat trick. Daniel James wasn't looking forward. He was just waiting for Martial to get into space that he could pass. Like that's a good winger. A great player would, analyze, try to move forward, and then at the last second, maybe deliver it to make it less predictable. And
But I still, this was like, think this was like way.
yeah,
like
definitely.
English
Like
chicken
in previous
we used to
games,
see.
he was just a pace merchant. Like he'd just be waiting on the edge of the line. He would go and then he'd deliver some shambolic cross to the other touchline. Yeah.
Shambolic. It's like he's in a 100
Yeah.
meters race in a
It's like one of
football
those
match.
FIFA
That's what
who's
it
the
seemed like at
fastest
times.
FIFA player. Like it's just going from one end straight to the other. He wouldn't do anything else. It's definite improvement. And I mean,
Yeah.
like last season, he scored like 3 goals in the first 5 games. I don't know why I picked him over Andrew Robertson, which is in FPL, which is a huge mistake. But for 15 mil, that's still not bad. Like it's not like they spent
It's a
like
bargain.
30 million or
Especially in
something.
this time.
Yeah, in this time, like you get like half a decent defender for 15 million. Not enough, yeah.
Not enough a decent defender, probably more.
Yeah, and then Martial.
For 15 extra million,
Yeah, unlock. I mean,
like,
yeah. Uh, and then Martial, I think I have to give him a 7.5. I think he did do well. That penalty, I'm still I got the assist and the goal from that penalty, but it was just kind of I mean, don't get me wrong. Like his
It was
penalty,
if-
like his swan dive, it's kind of nice. He's kind of nice with it. Yeah, it's graceful.
It's graceful.
Slow
it's graceful.
motion, I swear. Even if it's not in slow motion, like it's just like everything's in line. Like when you do the worm, it's just like everything's just flowing. Oh yeah,
Ian Robinson.
slide.
Jesus, 2014's one.
But yeah, I think it's good to see Anthony Martial smiling again, not looking like Ice Cube whenever he misses a 1v1. Literally every time he misses, he just goes like staring as if like the red gave the opponent a free kick or something. Like his facial expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks so pissed off. It's hilarious.
It's literally
Like,
just like
his face.
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a French version.
Um,
But now this brings the question. Spurs have lost their last 2 matches in a row. They lost 2-0 today against Leicester, which sucks because I had one starting today, and then 2-1 versus Liverpool. So Leicester Spurs are obviously known for bottling everything. We obviously saw with 3-3 against West Ham. Is this the downfall of Spurs?
I think so.
Is this
I
the
think
beginning?
so.
That's the thing with Spurs. We can
Yeah.
be confident about.
Yeah,
losing.
it's like it's just a
bound
matter
to
of when, not if. But I think like Spurs have been kind of riding on a high. I mean, they like if you look at them on paper, like they're not as good as I feel like. Like besides Kane and Son, I mean Lucas Moura, Steven Bergwijn, Giovanni Lo Celso.
It's just Son and Kane carrying them. That's all it's been. Like I think I love Heung-min Son. I think right now personally he is the best player in world football.
Okay.
Right now he is, but it's just Son and Kane carrying them. It's like they have really no like. Steve Bergwijn is good. Lo Celso's not bad. He's not the greatest. Lucas Moura, I think, is washed up at this point. He doesn't have too much of a future. But apart from that, there's no. You can't spell Spurs without.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I see it, everyone else besides Kane and Son and Lloris is just soaking up the pressure and then deliver it long, boom, hit it to Son, Kane, and Kane actually, yeah, he can pass it quite well. Like he is a number 9, but like. In that 5-2 win against Southampton, like he was just delivering balls like he was like De Bruyne.
He's the number 1 assister right
like,
now.
I'm
pretty sure he
goals
is.
has.
Yeah, most assists 10. Yeah, 10. That's Harry Kane. De Bruyne is three behind
Wow.
with 7. Yeah, for number
Yeah,
9,
definitely.
that's impressive. That's like stats you'd expect to see from
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Messi, who scores and assists. But yeah, I think the moment once can Sunlight
yeah. Then the
go out, then
Yeah, then
that's when
like the
shit really
flame
hits the
kind of
fan.
will die out for Spurs, and I
Because
believe I predicted them going 10th in the table this season. Uh,
oh yeah, we really we
we'll visit our mid-season review. We'll get back to that in a couple of weeks. But surprisingly, like I didn't realize that like the season's gonna like the half of the season's gonna end in like late Jan. No, it's gonna end in late
yeah, it's
Jan
already
though.
over.
Yeah, because like
Oh,
United
late
play
January.
Liverpool
You're
on
right,
like the
right. Because they had a
17th of
delay.
January, which is kind of weird, because it's quite a while. Um, but 2 days ago was I think it was 2 day I think it was 2 days ago was 2 years since Ole got appointed as interim manager of
Yeah, yeah,
United.
it was 2 days ago.
Uh, Thoughts on his overall time so far?
What's well, lots of ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
like lots. It's just obviously consistency is key in football. I mean, in every sport, it's consistency. I think I'm I have mixed feelings on Ole because as I can't remember who said it, but he's just going off vibes. That's
That's
all he's
me.
doing, just going off
Yeah,
vibes.
I always say that.
You said that? Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
I think a commentator
I thought
also
it was
said
I thought
that.
it was
I
like
think
some
I probably
pundit or
got it off a
something.
commentator. I can't remember
Yeah, you probably did. But yeah, it's just like it's not. He sometimes doesn't seem to have like a set game plan. Uh, I think he did get the tactics right
that.
today, but more times than not, he does miss tactics, and his record is kind of the
Yeah.
same as Moyes in their seventh place league finish. It's the point gap is not very small between the two, but it's kind of hard to see. I mean, he has been kind of put in a stranglehold by the board, being not really getting any good players to sign, and then it's gonna be hard to go into Champions League when you don't have much squad depth.
Yeah.
I predicted like when we first made the when they first drew, I said it was gonna be PSG, Red Bulls,
United.
and
Yeah.
then United, and I
Until
thought I
they
was wrong for a
choked.
while
Yeah.
until 3-2 happened, but yeah, but I guess I was right in that, but it's hard to do that when like the when you have like two hands tied, we have both hands tied behind your back. I don't really see him lasting more than a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's like it's hard to tell because you think United are turning a corner and then they'll just lose four straight and suddenly Ole's job is on the line again for the 17th time.
Again,
But yeah, I think the one thing I can say is Ole, like signing wise and team wise, has been fairly spot on. Like Maguire, yes, he overpaid. That he couldn't control that, but he needed a center back desperately. Was Maguire the right choice at that time? He seemed like it because he was the safest option. Um, but like otherwise, Wan Bissaka has still been relatively good. Dan James for 15, yeah, not bad. Bruno obviously was the best signing of all. Donny Van Beek,
Peach
we'll
was
see later on how he can grow. Um, yeah, Cavani was a
and
free.
Cavani was a free, right?
I think Ole, like, give him time. Like, I have been Ole in until I think last month. I think I was Ole out. I'm still on the verge. Like, yeah, today was a great performance, but I think until I see some real consistency, I won't be on the Ole's at the wheel bus again.
Yeah. But talking about falling off
Ooh,
Arsenal and Arteta, the last
yeah,
10 games, the only one they've had
yeah, I know.
in the league is against who it
United.
was. United.
Yeah.
Of course it was. Yeah, so it's not looking too hot in Arteta camp. I've seen jokes like Wenger
Were they
in
not 15th? Yeah. Yeah, they're
15th or 15th. Who do
I
they
think
play next?
Chelsea, right? Oh, they play City on Tuesday and then
That's not
Chelsea
looking
on
very good.
Saturday. That's yeah.
It's gonna be rough
But
for
yeah,
them.
they are 4 points off relegation. So that is kind of a scare. And that too, Burnley have played two less games than Arsenal, who are sitting at 18th. But yeah,
Oba should have
yeah,
negotiated
yeah.
that contract.
He's disappeared since then. Even disappeared from the game with a calf injury. Uh, so who's our meme team of the week?
I mean, the easy choice would be
Yeah.
who did the Crystal
Yikes.
Palace, 7-0. Obviously
That's
Barcelona
true.
is
That's
always
true.
a meme
Yeah.
team of the week, per usual. What else is
Was
happening
it?
and going on?
Did they lose to Cadiz this week or was it last week
What else is
or a couple weeks back?
they lost to Cadiz a couple weeks ago? Like they've lost to
Man.
too many teams. I forgot. I've lost count. They oh yeah, goddamn Ronald Koeman. Okay, they're playing against Valencia. They're 2-all yesterday. They were down. They were 1-0 down, and then Messi got a goal late in the second half. Then Ronaldo Araujo scores a goal, and then Gomes scores a goal. So what tactical genius does Ronald Koeman do? He pulls out Pedri and puts in Longley, puts in another center back when they're tied 2-2. Like, where's the logic in that? I was optimistic for Koeman. I mean, at that point, it seemed like anything would be like an improvement over Kike Setien, but he's just making all the wrong. He's making all the wrong moves. He's using his substitutes way too late, and he's just pointing fingers. Like he's so quick to put the blame on others. He won't blame himself. He'll always blame either the refs, the VAR, or his own players. I think he's not the right mindset. It's not someone. And I think it's obvious with Messi. I can tell it's not Messi's not having a dry like a span. It's just Messi just doesn't want to play. He has no motivation for the club, and I feel him. Like we might see Messi playing against Barcelona for PSG. Might see playing for in the next Champions League.
Yeah, that's.
Speaking of which, we're
that's,
screwed
yeah,
against
that's
PSG.
gonna be a.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they can if PSG choke this like I will be wow. Yeah, another round.
Maybe another remontada.
PSG need to just lose first game and then they're good. But yeah, maybe Barca need big old Sam Allardyce back at the memes
Yes, sir.
of Sam Allardyce.
But oh god, it was so sad. What's his name?
Oh,
The
Roy
Crystal
Hudson.
Palace manager. What's his name?
Yeah.
Roy Hudson. Like he looked just so. He just after every goal,
Yeah.
he's just laughing. It just it's demoralizing. I mean,
Mhm.
Minamino was playing really well today. I mean, you can't really meme him. He had some good efforts, and Mane finally got on the goal sheet. And Salah, there's obviously been a lot of drama with him nowadays. It was like I think it was like he wasn't offered the captain's armband when Jordan.
I don't know. I
Like,
didn't.
what
I
was it?
wasn't sure, but yeah, he did come off the bench, right? And then I didn't know there was drama. Wait, there was drama with him?
Apparently there was some drama. Like he came out of like a press conference. I'm just
Oh.
relaying what my dad's saying. He might be wrong. And like he was kind of upset that he didn't get the captain's armband during a when Henderson wasn't playing. But he did bag himself 2 goals in the last
Oh
one.
yeah.
Messi Robin goal. You see that one?
Clean. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. The
And
top
Henderson's
left or
goal
something,
was
right?
insane
When
as
they
well.
laid it off.
Oh yeah, similar to the Harris's goal today for
mhm.
Leeds as well. A lot of great goals happening in the Premier League. I mean, a lot
Yeah,
of
even
goals
Firmino,
in general
like
to
the
this week.
one time I picked him back up and then 2 goals and assists.
Finally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I
He
saw
beast
the
it
score sheet,
today.
I
I mean the other
couldn't
day.
believe that 7-0. Yikes! That's yeah.
I
Yeah.
think just for the memes, it has to be Arsenal like 2-1 without a James.
Yeah.
Yerry Mina obviously scored.
And that too, Rob holding on goal.
Picking a pen, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
But it's just funny.
United
It's just
do
so
have a
funny
tendency
clown
to
Arsenal.
lose to
Rahul's
relegation
losing his
teams,
sanity.
so- United have only lost 3 surprisingly though.
We can't. They
Yeah, Spurs, Palace,
only
Arsenal.
3.
3-1.
Well, Spurs was
Arsenal
6-1.
because of
Palace was
penalty.
3-1, and then Arsenal was
Just
1-0.
surprising. But we still have to play Liverpool, so obviously it'll be 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna
Um,
be rough. So
I think we play
next up,
Everton on
what
the
we've
Wednesday
got,
or something.
Wednesday,
Yeah,
12
yeah.
p.m. So that's the EFL Cup. That's the quarterfinal. Oh, I didn't realize the quarterfinal. And then they've got Leicester on
And that's
the
gonna be
26th
a
at
great,
4:30
a great one to watch. Um,
That's gonna be fun. So, Everton, what do you predict for that one?
I think I think United win. I want to say 4-2. It is quite optimistic,
4-2.
but at the same time, I think Everton have just kind of struggled a bit without Luka Digne. I think they do look vulnerable at times. Yeah, and yeah,
And
no James
James.
Rodriguez.
No James,
I
yeah.
need Big Dom to kind of tone it down for FPL, you know. um,
Yeah, for fantasy.
yeah.
Just too many goals going in. They have had a pretty good record. Like they beat
Mhm.
Arsenal 2-1 yesterday, then Leicester 2-0, Chelsea 1-0, drew with Burnley 1-1, lost to Leeds, but beat Everton 3-2. But in the last match in November 7th,
See, yeah,
they lost 3-1 to United. So
yeah, potentially.
maybe a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I don't understand Leicester though. Like they'll win like 3-0 and then they'll lose like 2-0 and then they'll win. It's a very hit or miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, volatile team. I think I'm gonna go for a conservative 2-1
Wow, wow, okay.
Everton.
I mean,
Yeah, I think DCL is
yeah.
doing too much for his own good, but yeah, I think it's gonna be
I mean, I hope
2-1
Jesse
Everton.
Lingard plays and
Yeah,
then
I'm gonna stick with
snaps
2-1 Everton.
Dazil's legs. Oh
We
yeah.
can always expect an EFL Cup goal from Jesse
Yeah.
Lingard. Can't doubt my boy. But
I guess I'll
yeah,
be
anything else?
taking Scott McTominay in FPL now. um, yeah.
Yeah, so that was our coverage on the Leeds 6-2 match. We have the EFL Cup Everton on Wednesday, which is the
Right there.
23rd, I believe.
4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2.
Shuba's
Yeah,
gone for
not
4-0.
you're not that
No,
great.
4-2. 4-2. 4-2 United, and I've gone for a conservative 2-1 Everton scoreline, so we'll see what happens then. But thanks for checking us out. Sorry for the big break. Your favorite podcasters are now back. We are obviously your favorite podcasters because you don't listen to anyone else. But we're back, and we're here to stay. And yeah, we'll see you around next time.